What's up? What's up? What's up? What's poppin'? What we gonna have in the house tonight? Hey, hey. Hello. Hear me?
Can you hear me?
Shoot. Hello.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Dang, why can't I hear you? Yeah, that's why I jumped on a little bit early. My
That's what I was thinking too.
setting. Audio. Keep speaking so I can know which microphone is or speaker is the right one.
Okay.
Hello, hello.
Okay. Yeah, you see my look at your little friend with me. Say hey to Haley. Say
Hello,
hey.
hello, 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 hello. Hello?
I'm here.
Hey, that's the right one. Okay.
How are ya? How are ya? How are ya?
Hi, friend.
Say hi.
Not so much. You're not feeling it.
She just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. What's going
I'm
on?
trying to see on Facebook. I don't see the live. So on here, when I broadcast through StreamYard, for some reason, I can't see people's engagement, their comments, and all that stuff.
Uh huh.
So I usually have to go on Facebook on my phone so that I can at least see people commenting and interacting, but I'm not seeing, I don't see the broadcast. Like, where's my broadcast? Do you see? Do you see it?
On Facebook.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to ditch StreamYard because this is aggravating.
Mommy, is he? Oh,
It's showing that it's live.
Yeah, I can see us.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I can't see me on my own Facebook. How about that? Okay, as long as you can see me, that means that other people can see us. Oh, I know what I had to do. I had to go to my homepage. I was on my news feed. I don't hit my own news feed. Well, that's crazy. All right. How you doing, girl? Long
I
time.
am good. I know. I know. I know. How are you? I feel like we're the smiling sisters. Like every time we get together, all we do is smile. Do you know how hard it is to find a friend that is just so happy within themselves that every time you see them, it's like smile. She's like this is us. Like all day, every day, and people like
All the
literally
time.
cannot get that.
All the time. I don't get it. And it is an internal thing. It's just like people aren't happy in themselves. So that's where it starts. Like, I'm so good with me.
Exactly. And then I hear people say, "Oh, you have to be healed. Come heal." But healing is a ongoing, never-ending
Oh my gosh, it's a
process.
journey. I mean, it's a journey. It's not a
Yes.
destination. You don't wake up any day talking about, "Oh, I'm healed." No.
No, you're not, because
Some
then you
people
have
get trigger
triggers.
you.
Yes.
We
We hear. Like you can get triggered. Like I can be healed and I can be out of a relationship and be healed, and then I'm on a date and someone chews like a goat, and I'm like, "Oh, you chew like my ex." Like, can can revert you back because we have memories
Not the
and we
chewing.
have things in life that happens all the time.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay,
I
we got a
have
few
to
people that
share.
joined on Facebook. Hey Shay, hey
Say it again.
Angel, hey John Brown, hey my old homeboy. So we just kind of jumped in and started talking. I was really kind of trying to give people a couple minutes to get on. Um, Man, there's people. We got somebody on YouTube. I'm so grateful for you guys. I do not take it for granted. Neither my guests and my little friend over there or my online guests, the audience. You all make this thing possible. Y'all are the roots to my grass. Because guess what, baby? This thing is blowing up. And I do
Yeah.
mean that pun intended. Yes. Pop, 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 pop. We blowing up over here. We blowing up. I'm actually my live videos are this is the introduction to the Blowing Bubbles podcast. I'm taking it up to the next level later this summer. Man, we're doing big things. My website. Have you looked at the website?
I have. It looks good.
Thank you. I really put a I put a lot into that website and it's so robust. I don't know how to work it all. So somebody I need some tech support. 911
Friends
tech.
out there in the world, if y'all can help look
911
for her tech
tech. Where
support,
you
we would
at?
love you
Call
and
me.
appreciate
Call
you.
me. Oh my goodness. So I am going to get into it. So
And she take this
ladies,
wig off my head. This podcast is gonna be over with. Do
no,
you
it's
hear me? It's
not.
gonna be over. Like I am cutting the camera,
Don't you do it. This we
delete,
gonna keep it real tonight.
delete the
The fact that you
footage.
announced it was a
Cause she's
wig.
over here in this kitchen, honey. And if she takes this wig off my head, we are no longer friends. So this goes out.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So I want to introduce you to the audience. I have crazy thing. So those of you, if the I don't know who knows me on social media that doesn't know that I am a realtor. Kanisha and I met years ago. She did something that I do a lot. Like she just approached me. I was showing a house in her neighborhood, and she was like, I'm going over there. Kanisha is a mortgage lender, and we just clicked. Like from day one, we just clicked. So um, things have changed. We've both grown. We have both done a lot in these last few years. My God, my God. Um, Man, Haley was still in the oven when I met you, and
It's been some years, honey.
it has been some years. Oh man, and y'all used to see me getting up early, 5 o'clock in the morning, going to the gym. She was the other person on next to me talking about, "Come on, girl, let's go." 5 o'clock in
Yes,
the
getting
morning.
it in, getting it in. Oh
Five
my God.
o'clock in the morning.
And didn't lose no weight. We were just
Oh,
up in there
no,
sweating for no reason
no.
and
That
looking at the cute guys going, mm, mm.
5 o'clock in the morning. We were up, but we were dedicated. We went every morning for a good while. And then I moved and she moved, and now we like forever apart from each other now. Um, but yeah, this is
We
my
on opposite
girl.
ends of Atlanta.
Opposite ends, honey. I'm in Atlanta and she not. Like, oh man, and if you know anything about the traffic here, it's demonic. So yeah, there's that. I've been to her house once. And she, no, what, twice? Once or twice. Twice since she moved. And yeah, that's far, far. And my grandbaby, my son and his family are out there not far from you. So I don't have any excuse. We're gonna link up more often. We're gonna link up more often. So we're gonna talk about real estate. We're gonna talk about whatever. We're gonna keep it real tonight. We're gonna let the conversation flow to wherever it goes. And thank you, Cheryl Gunn Martin. She's on 2 channels. I appreciate you. Hey, Maria Wheeler. Hey, Anthony Reels. Man, I don't take it for granted that anybody is giving me their time. This here is just so amazing to me. I love you all, and there's nothing you could do about it. So, I want to invite you in the comment sections to make sure, guys, you can ask us any questions. Kanisha is a mortgage loan officer, and the girl be closing loans in 8 days. Some lenders, they be having people out there for 6 weeks and all that. This girl will get you done in 8 days. So she's
Yes,
pretty thorough.
Anthony.
We've done some deals together, yeah. So we can talk real estate if you have any questions about loan programs or anything like that. If you have any questions for me, yes, I'm a real estate broker. Whoo, Lord have mercy, that's a whole nother story. But any questions about the market? No, it's not gonna crash. We can get that one out of the way before anybody asks it. Nope, it's not
No,
happening.
not
Nope,
gonna happen.
not happening. They made y'all scared for no reason. It's not happening. It's not the same. If you understand the conditions that existed in 2000, prior to 2008, then you would understand why it's not going to happen again. So things change, but it's not crashing. Interest rates got high and people got scared. So, but
But people are still buying.
they are,
People are
listen,
still buying.
multiple
As a
offers.
company, we're still closing $100 million every month.
Wait a minute,
Easily.
$100 million a month in closed loans a month.
People are still buying houses.
A
And the
month.
crazy part about it is, I'm telling you, girl, this wig come off my
Hey
head.
man, we
I'm
just gonna
telling
laugh
you.
and keep it moving. I'm gonna laugh, just so you know. I'm gonna laugh,
I'm
but
just
we're
gonna
gonna
go
keep it
ahead and
moving. We
let
don't
you
have to cut the
know.
camera off, girl. We're gonna keep it real. We know it's a wig. We know your baby sitting up there. She she
I'll go wear my wigs, okay? But
she a little
this
frisky with the
child is
wig,
just like,
so if it
Mama,
come
where
off,
does her come from? Like,
I won't.
it
I
be your
promise
own
not to laugh
kids.
at you after today, but I'm gonna laugh tonight.
It be your own kids, man. It be your own kids.
Oh my goodness. So what's
But
going on with
yes,
you? How you been, man?
so gosh, let's see. Okay, mortgages are still picking up. Like people are buying right now. It's the summertime, so of course, a lot of people are out here buying and shopping because what tends to happen is a lot of buyers want to get into their homes before the new school year starts.
Right.
And basically, what is happening now that we're seeing in the market, sellers are giving concessions. There's certain price points that are like really hot button price points, like anywhere under $300,000 is a very hot price point. And the reason why I say that is because the average person in Atlanta make $20 an hour, and $20 an hour sounds like, oh, it's a lot of money, but when you look at it, it's really $42,000 a year.
Right.
And with the current interest rates, that's around a 250 price point.
Right.
And it used to be you can have $40,000 a year salary and you could buy a $300,000 house in 2022. I mean 2021
21.
and 2020. But now because of the current interest rates and where we are, your price points are lower. So
Right.
if people are looking out to come out and shop, come shop, buy your house, get you some seller's concession. There are so many loan products out here that are available for customers, for consumers. There's the down payment assistance loans. There's FHA, VA, conventional, jumbo. We have a full catalog. We even offer bank statement loans. So right now, I think if you're looking to buy a home, it is the perfect time to buy a home. Don't let anything deter you.
Right. And I always try to encourage people, from the standpoint of a lot of people are waiting because interest rates are where they are, and they got tired of competing, and so they wanted to wait the market out. You can't wait the market out, because here's what I know for 100% certainty. My um, experience is investors are not waiting. Investors are not waiting. They're still buying. They're still coming in with cash. They are more than content to keep everybody a tenant. Okay. So on one hand, if you're somebody who's invested in the stock market, if you have a pension fund, um, hey Rhonda, if you have a pension fund, some of these big guys, they are they're backing pension funds. So yes, we all want our pensions to be healthy. We all want our 401ks to be healthy. So, in that regard, it's healthy for the economy, but for the average everyday person, waiting is only letting these guys just consume all of the inventory. So, imagine 5 years, 10 years down the line when their business model shifts and they decide to dump the inventory. Who you think is going to control the market? Prices are not coming down. While they're somewhat stable and teetering on the lower side and climbing down, creeping down, you better buy. You better buy. Give them your. We're gonna drop your information a couple times, but give them your website so you can y'all can hit Kanisha up and get pre-approved. And I'm telling you, by the end of July, you could be in a new house.
Literally by the end of July. If I would have got your file today, you could have been in the house by the end of June, honey.
Right.
Yes, my cell phone number is 601-447-4012. That is the best way to reach me, even if
And
you
she
can't
answers all day, man.
call or just text. Text. Because after 5, I'm with some children. So, however, I will still answer you. So, yes, that's my cell, 601-447-4012. And hey, I look forward to working with you. I look forward to talking to you about your situation, how you can buy, how you can, I wouldn't necessarily say build generational wealth, but how you can live and be a real estate investor. Like, people don't realize that there's so much game out here in buying real estate. A lot of people say, "Oh, I want to buy an investment property." Okay, well, do you currently own a property? You don't own a property? Okay, so buy a house and you live in it. And in a year, you take that house and you rent it out and you buy another house and you live in that one. And then in a year, you take that house, you rent it out, and you buy another house. And that's how you build your real estate portfolio. And you can use down payment assistance each and every
Each time.
time.
Each time. And so one of the things that worked really well for us working together is we are both extreme students of our craft. We
Yes.
study. There are so many people that come to me and they see what I do and they want to know how they can do it. And they say, I want to do real estate. Baby, I'm telling you, I sometimes sit up from 7 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock in the morning all day at my desk. I am studying my craft. I am studying my craft. You can't tell me nothing about real estate. First of all, I've been a carpenter since 1996,
Hey.
a real live carpenter. I'm a union trained carpenter. So I've been on the other side of it. I've been investing in real estate. I've been building and doing all this stuff. So I have a different eye than a lot of real estate agents.
Yes.
Most agents, most licensees that have my training are in it for investing. They're flipping. They're not doing the real estate that I do. So I study this business. I have literally coached several agents to get their license because I just know it so well. I'm licensed in multiple states and it comes easy to me because I'm super passionate about it. And that's one of the things that made us work well together because we just love what we do. You found your thing. I found my thing. Like you're a whole entire accountant and you don't even do accounting.
I crunch numbers though. I had to
You
give it
crunch
up,
the
but I still
numbers.
crunch my
You
numbers
crunch
though.
those numbers. And just like what I did in my past career path, it set me up to be an amazing realtor. And you are
Yes.
great. Like I'm telling you, she can look at your stuff and just look at it and be like, that's not gonna work. You're gonna have to do something. You like I've seen it and heard it and just start laughing. So I love that. I want people to understand when you get in this business, either no matter what you do in this business, this is not for the punks. It's not. I'm gonna put it
No.
flat out. This is not for the punk. You only eat what you kill.
Yes. And a lot of people don't understand that, you see all these superstar people like that are famous, that are all over social media, that is killing it in quotation marks, literally in quotation marks. And you really don't understand. You're coming into the game and you're measuring your year 1 to their year 10. Or you're trying to figure out how they're doing so much volume. How do they get their connections? But the truth of the matter is, people want to do business with people who know what they're talking about.
Absolutely.
You can
Ab-
be pretty all day long. But you know, like when I was growing up, my parents used to have this plaque on the wall. It says, "A real woman knows how to how to act like a lady, how to think like a man, how to, how to look like a girl, how to act like a lady, how to think like a man, and how to work like a dog."
Woo!
And he used to say, as a woman, you need to be able to outwork any man that come into your area. I am so mad competitive, and I'm not even competitive with my coworkers. I'm competitive with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I did this volume this month, I need to do another. I need to do one more next month. I need to
That's
get it. I
right.
need to get it. I need to get it.
That's right.
Because hey, it's and you can't get it if you don't know what you're getting. And you're
For
right, we
sure.
became students of the game because at the end of the day, if you're not able to just literally put your finger on something and say, okay, let me dissect that. Let me see how I can make that work. It's never going to work.
Absolutely.
And that's with
Absolutely.
anything in life. That's like literally with anything in life.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to
Anything.
be willing to learn and adjust yourself.
Right.
So,
And that's important. So have there been any times since you've been in the mortgage business that you've had to make a major pivot?
yes, there was a point in time where I realized, okay, Kanisha, what you're doing is no longer getting you the clientele that you desire.
Mm.
Because when you fill up your funnel or when you fill up your pipeline or you get your leads coming in, you're like, okay, I got leads, but you can be busy doing a whole lot of nothing.
Period. Real busy, but not getting any business.
Exactly. And I'm
Been
like,
there,
I
done
know
that.
I'm working. I know I'm
Been
working. I
there.
know I'm working. Like,
Yes.
why am I not making money? My money is not equating. I got to the where I was literally pulling like 150 credit applications a month,
Sheesh.
but only closing like 5 or 6 deals.
Oh wow. So did you isolate what that void was where you were not going quite right? Where you
I did. What I ended up realizing was I was good at getting people to clickbait. Like put a little information
drawing
out
them
there,
in.
people click,
Okay.
and then it draws them in. But it was just people getting drawn in to access information, but wasn't going to do anything with it. So I became a master of wasting my own time.
Sheesh. How did you come out of that rut?
I literally had to say to myself, you can't drag it through. You can't make people buy when they're not ready to buy. But those who are ready are going to come, and you need to know what that sounds like when they come. So one of the things that I had to do was I give clients a 3 rule. If I call you and say, "Hey, this is Kanisha. I heard that you wanted to apply for a home loan. Let me see how much money do you make? How much money you got? What do you do for a living? Okay, nope, 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 nope. You're not ready. You're not ready because if
Right.
you don't understand your own profile and your own life, then how can you expect me to put it together for
You're
you?
gonna work for that.
I'm a work.
If they do anything.
If they
And
do, I'm working.
yeah.
Give me
So
this. Give
one
me this. Give me this.
here's one misconception I want to address. So there are a lot of veterans out there who have VA loans. And this is one of the things I had a problem. This individual got frustrated with me, right? VA loan. I got a 100% loan. How much money do they still need to come with?
I would say on a VA loan, you're gonna need at least 4% of the sales price.
Of the sales price. People don't understand that still. So if you have a USDA or a VA loan or any other loan that is supposed to be 100%, there's still upfront costs that are not
Absolutely.
covered by the loan. Tell us some of those costs that people have to pay up front.
So some of the things that I like to initiate or to start off the initial conversation with is there's costs that are associated just to get into a contract with a buyer and the seller. You have to have earnest money because you need to let people know that you're serious. When you're getting ready to go shopping for a house, you're gonna go walk up to someone and say, "Hey, I want to buy it. I got $300,000 loan. I want to buy your house." So you get on the contract, but then they're like, "Okay, but what if you don't buy my house? What if you can't get the loan?" So that earnest money, you already need to have that available because the earnest money is going to say, "Hey, I'm serious. This is something that is collateral, and you can get your earnest money back. You just got to make sure that you dot your T's and cross your I's
Make
because it
sure
is
you're
your
working
home."
with a realtor that's going to protect your earnest money.
Exactly. Make sure you understand the language in the contracts that you're signing and make sure that you have a realtor that can explain that information to you. It is a lot of people out here that sign paperwork and they just be like, "Well, I signed it, but I didn't know what I signed." How you don't know what you're signing?
Right.
Like this is a major purchase. This is hundreds of thousands of dollars and you didn't think to read on a dotted line?
Right.
So a lot of times when you're getting ready to buy a home, make sure you have your earnest money together. And earnest money is usually around 1% of the purchase price. We're not in that market where you got to put up 20, 30, $40,000 anymore. But your earnest money is literally 1% of the purchase price. So for instance, simple numbers, if you're buying $100,000 house, then you need $1,000.
That's right.
So the next amount you need is an inspection. Please, please, please always get an inspection.
If your realtor tells you not to get an inspection to make your offer more competitive, rethink that relationship.
Rethink that relationship immediately. Anytime someone tells you you don't need to see if you need to save money, you don't need to see if your money is going to be spent at a later time because you got to replace an AC unit or refrigerator or roof. A roof?
Right.
Oh God, no. Yes, always make sure that you have money for an inspection. Inspections can run anywhere from $350 to $700. It depends on the size of the
Depends on the
property.
size of the property. Exactly.
And then the next thing you need to have is the money for an appraisal. An appraisal, and to give you kind of a simplified version, your home inspection is to tell you how good your house is, what condition your home is in. But the appraisal is to tell you what the value of that house is.
Based on the comparable sold properties in the area.
Exactly. You
So
can't
I don't
say
care if the 5 houses surrounding that house are listed at $20,000 more than you're paying for this house. If they haven't sold, it means little to nothing.
it really does not matter in most cases. It really doesn't.
Right.
And a lot of times people say, well, do I really need an appraisal? Well, let me
Absolutely.
ask you something. If I walked up to you and handed you open a box and said you can't open it until you give me my money because what's in here is valued at $300,000, but you got to give me $300,000 first, and then I let you open it. Would you do it? Absolutely
Right.
not.
Right.
You need to know what is in the box. You need to know what the condition of the box is in, and you also need to know what it is valued at. So a home appraisal is just that. So closing costs. A lot of people ask me, what is closing costs? Why do I need closing costs? Because a lot of times we get into the mindset of I'm buying a home just like I'm buying a car. You're only thinking of your down payment. But truth be told, you have closing costs as well. So when you have closing costs, this is how I try to explain it to customers. The state of Georgia got to get paid, the lender got to get paid, the attorney got to get paid. You're going to have to pay people because you have taxes, insurance, escrow accounts that you have to fund because tax bills is a lien on a property. If you don't pay your taxes, we all know about tax sales. That's where that comes from.
They will get theirs first.
Yes, they're going to get theirs first. First, the government's going to get theirs first.
Right.
Look at your paycheck.
That
That's why
part.
you have gross and net. And
So go ahead.
oh no, you go ahead.
Okay, so we've got home inspection. appraisal. Oh, and I also want to give you guys a little bit of a breakdown even further on the home inspection versus the appraisal. The home inspection is owned by you, the buyer. The appraisal is owned by the bank. You cannot pick your appraiser. The bank sends out an appraiser based on it's like a pool, a kind of a we'll call it a lottery type situation. It's not even that's one of the protections that were put in place after 2008 because of corruption. So that's one thing that I want you to understand. Yes, you do own the appraisal, I mean, the home inspection. No, it is not mandatory, but it is 100% foolish to not get one.
Exactly. And I
So
think that's where a lot of people were going wrong in the 2020 and 2021 crisis. And I say it's crisis because it was so tragic. But a
we
lot of
talked a lot
people,
about it.
yes, a lot of people waiving inspections. You can just throw a house up and somebody come up and you're going to have 15 offers before an hour is over with.
I sold, it was June of 2021, I think. I listed my son's house. We had an open house that started at 12 o'clock noon. Probably 11:30, it was about 30 people in his yard
Wow.
before we opened the door. And I'm talking about we had so many cash offers. It was crazy, the frenzy that
Yes.
that was happening at that time. But then on the flip side, when we went to buy a new house, oh man, I was pit bull. Like I told you, this was my son. Don't make me come for you.
Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't
Don't
play with
play with it.
it.
Don't play with it. So yeah, people were waiving everything, no finance contingencies. The people that he ended up selecting were it was a cash purchase, no appraisal, no finance, no, they didn't do an inspection. They came through and they were like, okay, yeah, we want it. Like we
It was
closed in
nothing.
14 days. Like it was happening. It's not as extreme anymore. Um, but the same investors who drove the prices up are the same investors trying to drive the prices back down.
Exactly.
Okay, we got
Exactly.
a question in there. He said, "How much does an appraisal cost?" So the appraisals also go by um,
Square
the
footage.
square footage of the house. Yes. So anywhere from 500. I just say average 500, but no
Yeah.
less. Probably no less. I'm
No
not.
less than 500. I would say the minimum I've seen has been about 499. But there are some independent appraisers out there, but I wouldn't trust them. Not saying people aren't good appraisers, but some appraisers, when they come out and they're independently doing an appraisal, the value can be drastically different than the value that a bank does. Because
Right.
the bank is doing a like a cost approach versus a value approach.
Hmm.
So value is kind of like what you might value the house as, but cost is kind of like what are the costs in this area? What
Right.
is the school system? Because the school district can change the price of a house drastically.
Drastically.
I remember I had a buyer that was buying a home, and the appraiser went out and appraised the home at 375. The house was listed at 600,000. He
Ooh,
appraised the house at 375 because he said it was in a certain school district. The realtor was like, no. Listing agent was like, no, 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 no. It's in this school district. So the appraiser went back out and got the value of the property because the school district literally changed the whole
that's
value of the house.
crazy. I haven't seen that fit. That's like wow,
It was a
$300,000.
humongous gap.
Wow.
But think about like having an appraiser that goes out and that can tell, that knows the area is important too.
And that's key, because the way that system works, they don't always come from the area that the house is in. I've had appraisers from Augusta and all kind, like far.
Right.
They don't know the area, so they're just, I don't know what's in their brain. But
Right.
so I have someone that just asked the question, so we should contact the bank to have it done. So Nate, that question, that statement, we're talking about in the purchase process. You are already a homeowner. If you want to get your home value, you can just get an appraisal. You can order an appraisal on your own, and you don't have to call the bank for that. If you're getting ready to list the house, then you can do an assessment. But I mean, if I'm gonna be a realtor, I can just do the comps myself and do and price it properly, because whoever buys the house is going to have an appraisal.
Right. They're going to have an appraisal on the house. That's
Yeah,
just mandatory. And then a lot
that
of
is
times it
mandatory.
used to be you could put 20% down and waive the appraisal, but now it's like it's very rare that you're going to get that. And I
Yeah,
wouldn't want to raise my waive my appraisal anyway because I
at
want to know.
all, at all. And for me, if I was in a position to buy a house and finance a house and have the option to waive the appraisal, I would feel comfortable doing it just because of my experience. But I would never, ever, ever recommend that. Not even for my clients. I don't want that liability. Um,
Right.
but for my own purchase, yes, I would, because I'm going to dig and I'm going to dig and I'm not going to pay any more than I want to pay anyway. So
Right.
I don't care if it's valued at 500. If I don't want to pay more than three, I'm not paying more than three.
Right. Right.
So that's just me. So don't anybody go out there and say, "Well, Karana said she can do it. You can do it yourself." I got different experience.
Yeah. She's a licensed, what did you say? Union carpenter.
Carpenter since '96, baby. That's a long time.
Oh God.
Realtor, broker, broker. That means I've been doing this for a long time with, some
Got
credentials.
some
So
credentials
anyway,
behind that name. Put some
anyway,
respect on.
put some respect on it. But yeah, man, I love what I do. And I know that you do as well. It has definitely afforded me an opportunity to not have the headaches of working for somebody else, because I hate jobs.
But it's so funny because we would get up and work a job and we'd be at job. We'd be at that job at like 8 o'clock in the morning because they said be there. But we won't get up and work for ourselves. And I think
Right.
that's where a lot of people fail in this industry is they don't want to get up and work for themselves. Like you are
Yes.
self-employed. Your paycheck is how much you worked.
Your paycheck depends on self. So
Yes.
self, how do you feel like you want to make money today? Mediocrity or lucrative? I want to be a little bit leaning toward the lucrative side.
Do
I don't like jobs. I don't like, especially corporate. Oh my god.
Where are you going?
So
I just girl,
you know what? That sounds like a perfect time to segue. You got some children, don't you? You got children.
I do. I have several.
Ooh,
I have a
several
basketball team and a relay.
and a plus one, and you got a 6 man.
I have a 6-man team. Do you hear me? I do. But motherhood is literally the best hood to live in.
It is. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
I would not. And it's so funny because like motherhood gives you the opportunity to see how stupid you sound when you was talking to your mama.
Ooh. Hi, mom. My mother's on here.
Hey, Shisha. But it does. Like I love motherhood. I love being a mom.
It's nothing like it. My life changed the day that I looked at my daughter. Like Ray, oh my God, my cousin, he said I got a 10 man team.
Oh,
Woo.
he said he got a 10-man team.
He said he got a 10-man team. Woo wee.
Oh, cousin, can
And
you
they
pull
all
out a
over the place.
parking lot?
His
Like,
oldest is in the military. She in the Navy, I think. And then he got a baby. Oh yeah, his is all over the place.
I tell your cousin, I'm gonna need him to learn how to pull out of a parking lot. Like,
You
no,
hear
I
that,
love
cat?
you, cousin. I can't talk because I'm fertile.
And so you have 6 and you came from a big family. How many children did your parents have?
Oh my god, it was like 16 of us, man.
Y'all
Like
ready
it
for
was
that?
a lot.
16.
It was a
16. She
lot.
has 15 siblings.
It was a lot. And my parents, they adopted kids, and it was just like, I mean, it was always people, children, and food. It was
That
always
sound about like
love.
my house.
And it's crazy because I'll go back home, right? Because I live in Georgia, but I'm from Mississippi. So everything in Mississippi is kind of like ranch,
Yeah.
country, backwoods type of thing. And it's like nothing but flat land. You don't never find hills and stuff like that. So I go back home and I'm walking around my parents' house. And it was I grew up in a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking around my parents' house and I realized this house is kind of small. And I know it sounds like 4 bedrooms, but them rooms was kind of small. Like it
Now
would
you
be the
have something to
size.
compare to. You have your own
Yes,
living experience.
yes. And looking at our
And how did
bedrooms in
they
my parents'
do it?
house,
So are they in the same house that you grew up in?
yes.
Wow.
My parents are still in
All
their
those
house. They built
children.
that house. They've been in that house for like 42 years. So they've been in that house for a
Wow.
very long time. And it's just like looking back and reflecting, it's like this house is small. Like, how do we all fit in here? But when you're growing up, it's so big. And it's because you
Yeah.
grow up on love. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
It's like
That's
everybody
it.
just loved everybody. Like we didn't get
Everybody.
along, but we loved everybody. And that's
Yeah.
a different type of love can make your space feel so big and
How
it's
about
really
that?
small.
That's some bars right there. Love can make your space feel big because we are in a culture now where we convince ourselves that we need more, bigger, faster. Like we really don't.
Better.
We really don't. We actually have better than we've ever had in generations
Right.
past. And we keep thinking we need more, bigger, better. And it's like that's why so many people are sad and depressed. One of the reasons because we're we've convinced ourselves that we don't have enough,
Mm-hmm.
that we need more, 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 more. And then people work themselves to death. You can't afford to retire like people did in the past
Mm-hmm.
because we're still going in debt to get more. For
Right.
what?
For what? And then the crazy thing about it, I was thinking about something the other day and I said we work till we're 65 and we live until we're 70s. Like most people now
That
on
don't
average are
sit with
living
me
in their
well.
70s and they're passing away. So that means at 35, you middle age.
That don't sit well with me
That
at
just
all.
that and we're still unhappy with the fact of I need something and I don't know what it is. And man, I'm telling you, and it's crazy because even now I'm out here on this dating scene and it's like dating different people, you realize that some people grew up on love and some people grew up on survival.
Whew. We're gonna have to marinate on that.
It's
Okay.
different.
I,
It's
girl,
different.
I know it. Okay, so the dating scene. There's some layers to this, right?
It's so deep. It can get so deep real quick.
Dating, first of all, in this day and age with 6 children. What in the world is that like?
Oh God. It's a lot. And I say that it's a lot because like first of all, you got to think, okay, am I gonna end up with a pedophile or something? Or am I gonna
You
end up with
have
a
to,
serial
because you got
killer, a
5 girls, not just
stalker?
6 kids, 5 girls
Yes. And then hey, I got a son too.
and a son.
Yes.
Let's not dismiss that
Yeah.
possibility.
Because people are
But
crazy.
yes,
And it's kind of like you find someone and you're like, okay, this person is halfway decent. And then it's like, there it is.
them spidey senses wake up.
There it is. Next. But it's crazy because I have I have 6 children. And a lot of people say, you're a single mom. And I say, no, I'm a single woman
Mm.
who has 6 kids. You're not gonna
Okay, so
victimize me and make
break
me a
that
single
break that
mother.
down because somebody needs to hear this. Break that down. The difference between a single woman and a single mother.
A single mother is someone who is in destitute, but a single woman is a woman who's unmarried. I take
Okay.
care of my kids. I
All
take care of
right.
my home. I don't need assistance. I need a partnership. Those are two totally different things.
Okay.
So I feel like when a lot of people say, well, I'm a single mother, I say, no, I'm not a single mother. I'm a single woman who just happens to have kids. So when you come to me and treat me like a woman who just happened to have kids.
So do you have like any hangups about dating men with children or men without children or anything like that?
Not really. I think dating men with kids is not an issue. Where the issue comes in is if you ain't handled your business. So, like, I don't know if you can hear this, but
I
this
can.
background noise over here is love, laughter, and happiness, honey. All the time. On the occasion, I have a kid to cry to, but it's love, laughter, and happiness here all the time. So, if I'm dating someone and they can't enhance this environment and they can't keep it going where it's always love, laughter, and happiness, then that's going to be a problem for me.
Hmm.
Because when you,
Understandably.
yes, because when you grow up on love, it's always going to be there. You're always going to see the bright side of things. But when you grow up on survival, you're always going to be like in a selfish setting and you're always going to want to be selfish. So when I see men who have children, I always ask them, what happened in that relationship with your ex? And how could you have made that better?
Nice.
Because if you have a horrible relationship with your ex, that's going to spill over into our
Message.
relationship.
Message. Yeah, that is a definite red flag. Do you Are you open to dating someone who's never had a child?
I am open to dating men who never had a kid. The only thing that I ask is you're coming into a situation that has already been established.
Hmm.
And this is something for men who are dating women who have children. When you're dating a woman who have children, I want you to think of a mindset of she's basically running a corporation on her own. She's the finance manager, she's the chef, she's the chauffeur, she's the doctor, she's the lawyer, she's the pediatrician. She is everything that her home needs all by herself. So when you coming in, of course you're gonna see some things that might need to be adjusted because she's doing it by herself. So she can't be everything, right? She can't do everything perfect. But if you coming into that situation and you don't have children, the only thing you can do, the best thing you can do is be a support system for that woman. At least say, okay, well, I see she's overworked over here. Let me go ahead and start dinner. Or I see, the kids ain't had their homework done. Let's get the homework done. Like find out what system she already have in place and then step in. But a lot of times what I've been hearing from female friends and just people out in the world is that when they date men who don't have children, they don't understand family dynamic.
Hmm.
And they don't understand that kids are another job. It's a
They
whole
are.
nother job.
They are.
So when you coming into a company that has already been established, they already have a handbook, rules and regulations on how this thing is being ran. Now, don't get me wrong, everybody has input, and you're gonna see some things that need to be tweaked and corrected and fixed or whatever. But just make sure you tread lightly because nobody wants to know or hear that they done a shitty job with their company.
Mm, okay. So one thing I want to touch on, you said the women are, how did you phrase it? Women are doing it by themselves. They don't need. So many women ain't there.
Mm,
So many women are struggling and they are looking for more. They more so need that that person to kind of enhance, basically to keep the ship from going down.
mhm,
Some people um some people function better as a unit, um as a complete unit. I've seen and heard so many people there like they're not where you are, sis. um Especially with, if a woman, a mom, or whatever parent has the custody of the children and they're responsible for the day-to-day activities and lives of these children, they may really need more support. They might not be balling out financially. So losing that extra income in the household, however it happened, is really a blow for some people. And they end up jumping from bad situation to bad situation because they haven't really stabilized. So you are blessed on top of blessed in that regard. Um,
I
that's
would
just,
say a lot of people are not there. And
mhm,
it's kind of like anything, if you, anything you enter into life, if you do it out of desperation, you're going to miss a lot of things
hello,
that you would
hello.
never have accepted. If you go take a job just because you need a job, then you're going to be putting more stress on your life just
Mhm.
because this is what I got to do right now to do get it done.
Right.
And trust me, I've been there. I've been there.
I
But
learned
I'm not
early
going
on,
back.
don't make decisions out of emotion.
Don't make decisions out of emotion. Don't make decisions out of
And
desperation. I was talking to this guy, and he's a, I don't know, he's probably a billionaire, but I think maybe he's like a millionaire or something. But I know he got money, way more money than I ever could think of. But he said something to me, and I asked him. I said, because we was in this building that he owned in downtown Buckhead, a high rise, and I saw him driving a Lexus. But it's people up in there that has like 550s, Maybachs, like G wagons and stuff, and they're in a building renting from him. And I
that's
asked
crazy.
him, I said, like, why do you drive a Lexus? And he said it gives me a luxury vehicle at a value.
And people put value in different things. I have
Exactly.
I have one lady, I can't wait to lock her down and get her schedule tight. She's very, very wealthy. She owns, I think, 6 apartment communities. And I'm not talking duplexes. I'm talking about each one of them is hundreds of units. She owns 6. Okay? This woman is still driving a 2013 Lexus. Most of us get it wrong. We are out here going, that's what I'm talking about. People go into debt for what?
And they're making relationships decisions on what too. So like
Absolutely.
when you make a decision about anything in life, even in relationships, you have to decide, am I choosing this person because I'm desperate, or am I choosing this person because they add value?
Yes. Yes. Like I really want to encourage people to rethink those type, financial decisions, rethink those. I had a financial mentor probably 20 years ago who said, if you can't write a check for it, you probably don't need it. I said, but coach, I said, Karana, can't write a check for it. You probably don't need it. I ain't really listen to them, but I did eventually get to the point where, man, I'm good with like I had a were we together that time? No, it was a real estate mixer I was at. I met this guy, I think he was a mechanic, and he told me, he asked me what kind of car I had, and at the time I had a Hyundai. Are you a realtor? You out here selling all these houses? You need a Benz or a BMW. For what? Cause you pulling up to these houses, and that has I don't care if I come in the F-150. I bet you I'm still a better realtor than 90% of realtors out there, and maybe more.
They ain't gonna outwork you. They is
That
not gonna
car
outwork
is
you.
not doing the transaction.
No.
Like,
And I think that's where, and that's why I talk when customers, when they come to me about buying
hey
a home.
Tanya,
I tell them, I said, listen, you're buying this house. What's more important to you? Is it the price of the house? Because a $200,000 house and a $400,000 house is not going to be the same.
at
Period.
all, at all.
Is it the cash out of pocket, which is basically what you come into the table, what you're paying out of pocket right now for, or is it your monthly payment? 99% of my customers always say the monthly payment.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they get out there and they see what their monthly payment and their budget get
Well,
them,
it's
they're
gonna
like,
get them. And that's when I have to call you back. Like, girl, can we squeeze
can we get that
anything
budget a
else
little
out
bit
of
higher?
what that debt to income ratio do?
Because the thing is that a lot of people don't realize buy for your need. Don't buy because after everybody done seen your house, your mama done seen your house, your daddy done seen your house, your friends, posted all over Instagram and Facebook for all the likes and tweets and congratulations, you stuck with that mortgage payment.
30 years.
So buy for your need. If you know
Right.
you can stretch your budget monthly and afford that house, then do that. But if you know that, like for instance, when I bought my first house, I needed a house that was within my budget. Because when we first got pre-approved, I was married and my husband was making hand over foot money. So they approved us, but the mortgage payment was like $8,500 a month. I was like, who paying that? Oh, you can afford it. That's what the loan officers kept telling us. Y'all can afford it. Y'all can afford it. Y'all can afford it. And I was like, I can't afford that. And he was like, well, Miss Bullock, you thinking the wrong way. I said, well, if this man die, I got to pay this mortgage payment.
Because he had
So
a
we need
really
our mortgage
dangerous
payment.
job.
It's a lot. And think about it. If you get behind,
Right.
that's $16,000.
And you can't have I try to tell people, ask people, if you can you afford for your transmission to go out? Can you afford if somebody stole your car and the insurance company is going to pay the car off, but can you buy another car without it causing a ripple effect in your household?
Mm-hmm.
Most people can't, they cannot handle or survive one crisis.
One crisis. Because most of Americans are living literally, if they miss one paycheck,
It's a wrap.
it's a wrap. So when I'm talking to customers, I say you need to be realistic about what you want and your expectations. Because your expectations might be X, but your dollars say Y.
Right.
So when you're getting ready to buy your home, after everybody that sees your home, you're stuck with that mortgage payment. And then you stuck with you can either be stuck with a mortgage payment that you hate making payments. Everybody hate making payments. Or you could be stuck in a house that you really, really love. Or you can be stuck with cash in your pocket. You have to figure out which one is the most important for you.
Right.
So even now, when I pre-approve customers and they're like, well, my budget is X. And I say, okay, well, that's what that monthly payment look like. They go, ooh, let me dial that back a bit. Then I know your mortgage payment is most important to you.
Hmm. Let me
If
ask
you
you
see,
this.
mhm.
There's so I had a buyer before. She wanted to buy. She was paying, I think, $1,700 a month in rent. Can you break it down to how that would look versus purchasing a house? So if a person has been renting a house for $1,700 a month, 5 years, are they likely to get approved for that same mortgage payment?
Yes and no. So if you've been paying $1,700 a month and you've been paying that for 5 years, you didn't pay $100,000
Mm,
to a landlord on their mortgage.
landlord.
So this is what I tell customers: you're buying a property. You're not renting. You're buying. This is yours. You can paint the whole interior black if you want to. It's yours. So if you're when you're getting ready to rent, they don't care about what your car payment is. They don't care about what your credit card bills are. They only care about what your income is. So
That's what I was trying to draw out. That debt to income ratio that you calculate based on all of their expenses.
all of your expenses. So when you getting ready to buy a house, this is how we calculate your income. So if you make $1,000 a month, let's just say use that for average. If you make $1,000 a month, your mortgage payment cannot exceed 45% of your income.
So that's $450.
Exactly.
Okay.
But if you make $1,000, household debt, your household debt cannot exceed 55% of your monthly income,
So that's
which means with a mortgage
550.
payment, credit card bills, house note, we don't
Car
care about
insurance,
utilities,
student loans,
student loans,
all that gets counted.
everything needs to be counted into your debt because those are monthly debts that are constantly reoccurring. You can be in your house and your lights off, light a candle. We don't care about that.
Right. And
But
that's
we do
why,
care.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
That's why when I've had people get frustrated when they've been paying all this money in rent and then they go get a pre-approval for like $120,000. But I've been
Right.
renting this house. I know, but you got a car and a truck and a motorcycle and you got credit cards and you still owe Navient and
It's a
yeah.
lot. And to give kind of context, if you have a car payment that's $500, you just took off $80,000 in a pre-approval.
Woo.
So your pre-approval went from 300,000 to 220
And let me
because you got a car payment that's
just had to have
$500
that car.
because you had to have that car. And then a lot of times customers say, well, the interest rates are too high. Well, how much is your interest on your credit card? How much is your interest on your car note?
19%.
But we want to
And
complain about a 7% interest rate on a house. But go sell that car. Buy
right.
that car this year and sell it next year and see if you're going to get a return on your investment.
At not at all.
But
And
buy
these
a
are
house.
gems, Kanisha. I wish I had the sound effects.
Like the dropping of the bomb, like the Hiroshima. But if you buy a house, let me tell you, I bought my house. I bought my house in 2015. I sold it in
Bailey.
2021. Walked away with 250,000. Bought this house in 2021. I bought my house in 2021 for 450. My neighbor sold theirs for 700,000.
Can we say equity?
And that wasn't even 6 months after I bought my house.
Right. So let me explain some. Let's explain the concept of home equity, because I've had way too many people ask me this question, and people are really confused about this. Home equity. Explain home equity, please.
Home equity is essentially a pot of cash that's just sitting back waiting on you to collect it.
Okay,
You can sell it and collect it. You can refinance and collect it, but it
but
is not going away.
it's not unless the values change. But here's the thing that people had the misconception of. They thought that there was just the money just comes to you. I'm like, you got to refinance. People literally are out there that don't understand the value only becomes valuable when you go take out another loan. You have to extract that value from the property. So
Hmm.
you gained like 300,000 in equity in less than 2 years, but that equity is not liquid until you decide to refinance. And then now you have a bigger mortgage. Now you got a $700,000 mortgage instead of 450. So
Hmm.
that's the difference. You don't just, it's not just free money. I want people to understand that. Yes, it is value in your property, but you can only get that money. You can only get access to that money by taking a mortgage out against the value of the house.
It's essentially like having money in the bank and you can't
Right.
do anything with it until you do a withdrawal.
Right.
And the bank is your house.
The bank is your house. And that's why it is better. That is the safest investment, in my opinion, ever. There's only one Earth in the whole solar system. There's only
That's
one.
it.
So go ahead and get your piece because we can't make any more. I can build a lot of stuff, but I can't build another Earth. There's only one.
They're not making more
God
land.
said, "This is it. Y'all do what you do. Take care of it." And when you own a property, this is something that some people may not know. When you own a piece of real estate, I own everything from this house to the depth to the core of the earth up into outer space. So that is literally a transferable right. When you purchase a house, you own everything from the core all the way to the core, all the way to infinite outer space. So if you live somewhere where there's a like in a close to a business district and there's maybe a highway, you can put a billboard in your yard and bank out. Like bank out. I wish I had bought close. Man, I remember I was looking at property when I first moved here to like in the Mechanicville area. Oh God. They were giving away houses down there. They were like 15, $20,000 10 years ago. Now that stuff is 3, 4, 500,000. Yes. So just know, think about those things when you're going to look for property. If there's some other potential value in that property that the seller might not be thinking about, first of all, shh, keep your mouth shut.
Exactly.
Go ahead and put a billboard on there. If you're out in the country and you got some acreage, put a cell phone tower on there. Make that property make you money. Find ways for that property to give you more value. Next thing you know, you drowning in equity. Take that money you're making from the T-Mobile, AT&T, and then go buy you another property.
I saw this video of this chick. She was by herself. She was a single woman. She didn't have any kids. And she bought this house in Atlanta and it came with like a big backyard. So
Mhm.
she went to Home Depot, bought like a $3,500 shed, fixed that sucker up, and she lived in the shed and she rented out her house. And people were paying her mortgage payment, and she was still banking like $500 extra a month off of just renting out her house to a family.
I could, if I could show you my mother and my sister's text message thread. I'm plotting. I just had my backyard cleared, man.
Don't play with it.
I'm telling you. Man, I'm like, this yard looking real good. For real. So yeah, make it make money for you. Like, why not?
It's the game of life.
For
It's the game
real.
of life.
For
If
real. I
you
was
ain't
a
trying to
beast at
make money,
Monopoly.
yes,
Like,
yes, have somebody sit on your property and collect and pay you rent.
pay you rent, man. I'm looking at this like Park Place. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So what else do you have going on, Kanisha? I know you are always doing something.
I got a passport and I'm traveling, honey.
Where we
I'm in
going, girl?
the streets, okay? I had took my first international trip to San Salvador with some realtor friends of mine, and it was eye opening. It was so eye
Wow.
opening, and I hear people say all the time, if you don't go out of the country, you're missing out on something, and that is so true. You have to
Mhm.
leave the country,
Absolutely.
and I think I'm just going to take 2 international trips a year. And what was crazy is I used to think it was so mad expensive, right?
Who's
All
that?
the time.
Izzy?
I used to think it was so mad expensive, but
It's not.
I spent $150 on my plane ticket round trip. The
Wow.
Airbnb, it was 9 of us, I believe. So the Airbnb was like $50. We was there for
Wow.
like 4 days. I spent like maybe $200 on food. I had the juiciest 16-ounce steak I have ever had in my life. I don't know what kind of seasoning they put on it. It was so tender. It
Wow.
was so good. Like I was just like $500, and I went out the country.
Do you know there's people who blow that in the club? They don't even leave their own town. Like, hey, Danny. Yeah, people blow money like that on the weekend. Just for some
Oh
people,
no.
that's for some women, and I'm not knocking anybody, but I'm just calling it like it is. For some women, that's their hair budget. They go get these bundles and they gotta get somebody to put it in. $500, you could have had an international experience. I'm very much into experiences. I don't.
Listen, I probably got 45 more summers left up in me. I refuse to spend the next 45 summers stressed,
Oh,
depressed, overworked, underpaid, underdeserving of anything in life that I was born to get. My next 45 summers is going to be epic. Do you hear me?
hey.
Because I live every day and I'm going to die once. And when I die, I'm going to die knowing that I have experienced my 45 summers left. And if I live past 45 summers, then I die
You
in
think you
silent
gonna sit
sleep.
down
So
then?
yeah. Then I worry about, like, oh my God, like let me sit down somewhere and just like relax. And a lot of people like, oh, you're gonna travel with kids? I'm gonna pack them kids a suitcase. Girl, let me tell my kids we're gonna go somewhere. I can guarantee you this house will be clean and these kids will be packed within 30 minutes. They ready to live their lives too.
Amen. That's
And
what's
if I
up.
can do it with kids, man, if you women out there, if you have kids and you want to travel, travel. If you have kids and you want to go out to eat, take your kids out to eat too.
Absolutely.
Introduce life
We
to your
used to go.
kids.
I would take because I had five, and I had a minivan, and we would take air mattresses and just back in the day where we used to buy road atlases, the physical road atlas, and we would sometimes just pick somewhere to go. And we were in Ohio, so the weather wasn't always good. Sometimes we would just go somewhere that had a indoor swimming pool. We tell the kids, pack your trunks, pack your stuff, and just go. And my kids grew up loving to just go somewhere. There's no occasion. We just, you know what? Let's just go to Niagara Falls. Let's just go to
And
Wisconsin.
it don't
We
cost a
just,
lot of money.
it didn't cost a lot of money, and you can do those things. I really believe that that should be something that every parent like makes a 100% mandatory part of their household budget. Take the kids somewhere, especially if you're from a small town. Like I grew up in a small town. Make sure that the kids get to experience something outside of their immediate world. Let them see life. Let them see how other people live.
And I think that's what a lot of people fall short of when it deals with, life is and their money and their finances is you have to have your finances down to a T. Like I know how much I'm spending in toilet paper and tissue and paper towels and toothpaste. Do you hear me? Cuz I tell my kids, "Hey, I had $5 this month that I'm spending on toothpaste. Everybody got toothpaste in their bathroom. If you don't use up a whole tube of toothpaste within a month, I know you ain't. No, you didn't, because your teeth ain't been that brushed. I
Your
know how
teeth
much you
aren't
use
that
on body
brushed.
wash. So, because if I know how much our household uses, even daycare expenses. You have to know these numbers. You have to understand your numbers in order for you to get your finances in
This
check.
is the accountant.
I'm telling you, until your mortgage payment, your rent payment, your car payment, you have to
Everything.
know all of these things. Even to the point to where I stopped paying monthly for my car insurance and just started paying it 6 months in advance because it saves me two
Save
hundred
so
dollars.
much. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Have
people
you
don't realize how calculated you have to be when it comes down to your finances because your life is a business,
It
and you
is.
don't think it's a business.
The household is a whole corporation.
A
with
whole
with
corporation. I
different
run my house like a
divisions,
business.
different subsidiaries. Man, you better run that thing like it is. So
A well-oiled machine.
have you ever considered teaching financial literacy and household management and budgeting and stuff?
I haven't asked that question before, but no.
You
I don't
should.
know.
You should.
I,
Like
I
if
think
you put it,
maybe.
if you put a thing together, like I'll administer it because I know you got like 900 things going. I just really think that there's so many people, especially mommies, who really need that knowledge. Like I'll be the first to admit I suck at budgeting. Like I suck at it. I get everything done that I need to get done because I live so far below my means, but
Right.
I suck at budgeting. If I was out here trying to listen to people in the streets and trying to drive the latest car and putting nails on my hands and all that stuff every week or whatever, I'd be.
But it needs to be in your budget. Like everything
It
that
needs
you
to
want
be.
to achieve in life, you can achieve if it's in your budget. If you literally sat down and thought, okay, this is the lifestyle that I want to live, and then you just put your numbers down on a piece of paper and you say, okay, this is how much and that will let you know how much money you need to make every month in order for you to sustain that.
Thank you,
I'm
Danny.
talking about as much as like your household expenses, your luxury expenses, your vacation expenses. Even if you say I'm gonna take 1 or 2 vacations a year, if that costs $10,000, you need to have that in your monthly budget,
Right.
and
Figure
that you
out
can know
how you're going to do it. Reverse
how you're
engineer
gonna
it.
achieve it.
Right.
And that's what took me because I was a single mom on Section 8
Hmm.
not too long ago, actually. So it was kind of like, okay, what do I want to live? How do I
How long ago?
envision myself? Whoo, 10 years ago. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it really ain't.
Single mother on Section 8 to now living in a home worth with $750,000 value.
6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, backyard with
So
international
I had to say that because somebody is on Section 8 right now and doesn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I wanted you to be that light. I want somebody that, young ladies, young man, if you have children, if you're struggling, you don't know you don't see the bright side of your future, right there. I'm telling you,
It's there because we struggle
work
because
for
we
it.
lack knowledge.
Right.
And
Work
we're
for it. You can
expecting
do it.
someone to come back
Nobody's
to
coming.
relationships. They're not coming.
Nobody's coming.
Nobody is coming. You are 100% responsible for you. And that's something that I had to grasp as a single mother. Then I became a married mother. Then I became a single woman. That's something that I had to grasp throughout my lifehood and just say, like, I'm looking for my knight in shining armor. That's me. That's me. I'm my own knight in shining armor.
Right.
Everything people bring into my life is extra. Do you hear me? I'm that type of chick that will buy my own self gifts because if you bring me something, it's extra. For my birthday, I don't expect nobody to show up and give me anything because everything I give myself. So anything you bring over here is gonna be extra.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
that's when you have a life that is. I'm telling you, my mindset be so gone. It's just be like, okay, well, I'm just free. I will okay somebody to death. I'm like,
Listen.
okay, okay.
I,
You going out tonight? Nope. Okay. I'm still going because I have made plans to do something.
how
We
about
going
that?
out to eat? Nope. Okay. I will okay you to death. I'm not gonna argue with you. You don't want to go, you don't go.
You know,
Bye.
exactly. Yeah.
Whatever reason you have to be where you are in life, it is 100% valid. That is your valid reason. But whatever reason you have to not be where you want to be in life is 100% valid too.
Period. Period. Yeah.
So this person that you see today it had to be built over a 10-year time period. And it's
Yeah.
just
How long ago? What year did you start doing mortgages?
2020.
So these are the reason that I want to point out these dates, ladies and gentlemen. This is just 2023. So that means you had just started when I met you.
Mhm. And I was bold with it.
She was bold. I was showing a house and she came and rang the doorbell on the house that I was showing. Like, hey, my name's Kanisha. I'm a I'm a loan officer, and she gave me her card. That girl built the business. I didn't realize I was watching your business be built. You've got to
Because
find
I had goals,
innovative and
man.
creative ways. Absolutely. You have to think outside of the box. You got to determine how bad you want it. Whatever your it is, determine how bad you want it and make it happen. Like there's nobody, and I say this all the time, there is not a soul that has ever been created that can stop me but me.
Exactly.
Me. I know that I was created with all of this, whatever it is that I want to do. Once I set my purpose on that thing, as
That's
long
it,
as
baby.
that's it, call it done. Call it
Done.
done. That's why real estate is my thing because I was like, I'm going to finally get my license. I wanted to do it in Ohio and I let my girl talk me out of it. She was like, girl, she broke down the commission structure. I was like, ugh. Now, mind you, Youngstown, Ohio, like I bought my house in Youngstown for $30,000. Like, and my
Mm.
house was big and nice. So, working for that for 3% of that, I got to do all this work. Probably not. So I didn't do it then. Then I moved to Las Vegas and I wanted to do it. Well, at the time, there was a lot of a string of rape homicides of realtors
Oh
during
no.
the bust, when all these there would be like whole subdivisions of brand new homes that were just foreclosed. The builder went bankrupt. So these agents were trying to salvage their business, so they would just get a phone call and run to show a house to somebody that they had never met. So
Wow.
they were getting raped and killed, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that here either. So when I moved to Georgia in 2013, and I mean, just things the universe lined up, and it was like it's time,
And
and
you know
I
what
hit
I
the
hear you
ground
say?
running. Huh.
You know what I hear you saying? Like, how many times did you start on your journey and you stop because you talked yourself out of it?
I talked
You
myself
let
out of
people
it.
talk you out of it, and
And
at no
I've
point
never been a
in time.
scary person, and I literally let one friend talk me out of it, and then circumstances that didn't apply to me and wouldn't have applied to me because I've never been comfortable going somewhere with some strange person that I don't know.
And you carry.
And I care.
Don't play with it.
Listen, don't play with it. Don't play with it.
Don't play with it. But that's the thing, though. We will sit there and talk ourselves out of our dreams, out of our aspirations, because we think, oh, that's too much, or what do everybody else think? I don't care about what nobody think.
No, Betsy.
Because Kanisha will pack these kids up and get on the airplane and do whatever. I will pack these kids up and we would go to a restaurant. I could take my kids to Papa Dope's. I could take my kids to wherever.
I
And they're
feel
going to
that way.
behave and they're going to do what they're
Absolutely.
supposed to do. This is my life. And everybody else just came into it. And my
Yeah.
kids will tell you that. They'll say, this is my mama life. We just here. Because they're
Oh
going to
my
grow
goodness.
up. They're going to grow up.
Yeah. And that was
They
my thing. I'm an empty nester, and it's like, let
Your
me
life is
prepare
your
you.
kids.
Let me prepare you. That first holiday season that nobody was around. It was like, what you mean you going over her house for holiday?
I'm your mother.
Wanting to pout, but it's like,
Now you got
and
to
I'm
find your life again.
and I'm still figuring me out. I'm still, navigating those waters. I miss my babies. I
And
miss
now your babies got babies.
my babies have babies. I have 5 grandbabies. Whew, Lord Jesus. I have 5 grandchildren. So yeah, that is one thing that I didn't really plan for is my life after children.
I'm planning my life for my after children now. Like my life after children now. Like I even now when I talk to my kids, I'm like, my son is going into high school this year. I said, listen,
Thank you,
this is the
Kenny.
first year for the rest of your life.
Yes.
You can go to school and get a scholarship. You can do whatever you want, or you can not. But we expect our kids when they turn 18 that they're going to know things, that they're going to be already like, there's going to be a light bulb to go off or a switch to go off in their head, and they're going to be able to, I know how to write checks. I can't tell you how many people I have talked to that don't even know what a check is, especially these newer kids that
Yeah.
just graduated 2, 3 years ago, especially none of these kids know what a check is. They don't know how to balance a checkbook. They don't know what a check is. They don't even know how to call and book an appointment.
Sheesh. Yeah, if it's not in an app, these kids now are stuck.
I had to
Wow.
give my kids their socials. I said, "Hey, this is your social security number." I couldn't get my social security number until I was 19, I think it was. I remember
Well,
I
my
was
mother
filling out
made
my
sure we had ours.
FAFSA.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's because we that was the lack of knowledge. But
Mhm.
me, I give my kids their social and I say, "Hey, before you apply for anything or before you stick that name on it, that number on a piece of paper, you need to talk to me about it because I
Yeah.
need them to understand the value of what credit does, the value of what social does. Even now, all my kids are on my credit cards. They ain't got no credit card, but
Right,
they all
right.
on
But
my
putting
credit
them
card.
on as an authorized user is something that other cultures have done for many, many, many years, and it enables your children to have established credit once they become of age. And a lot of people don't
Exactly.
know that practice. So you don't have to give anybody access to your credit, but you can put your child on your credit as an authorized user. And
Mhm.
the length of your credit counts towards their credit. So understand
Exactly.
that's a chess play, baby,
That's a chess. Oh, honey, I'm playing chess all day long,
all
especially
day
with my
long.
kids, because I say, hey, I got 6 kids. That means I can spend 2 months at every last one of them house. I can sell my house. I'm gonna live off my children. They my retirement plan. Do you understand me? I'm gonna leave one house for 2 months and go to the other house for 2 months. I'm not gonna let them know which house I'm coming to. I'm just gonna show up.
Hilarious.
I told my
Hilarious.
kids that story. They told me, so I'm gonna tell the maid to tell the butler to tell the guard at the gate not to come and let you in. I said, "Oh, you gonna be rich? I know I'm gonna be at your house. I already know. That's the house I'm gonna park myself at. I'm gonna give me an RV camper and I'm just gonna travel. Do you hear me? That's my rich. No. But
I've
real
thought about
talk,
that. Getting a just living the being a digital nomad. That's it's a
a
whole culture
digital
now. A
nomad.
digital nomad. I'm an empty nester. I can work from my laptop. Why do I need to be stationary?
You be stationed, but it's like it's so much of this world out here, and
So
we
much.
want to be stuck. Like
I'm not
we're gonna
stuck.
be
I'm ready
stuck
to
in a
travel.
casket.
I'm supposed to be going to Costa Rica. I'm gonna work it out. I'm gonna work it out.
I would love to go to Costa Rica. Do you hear me?
Costa Rica is has been calling my name for a good 20 years. I would love to have a home there. Um
Go
yeah,
for it. Go for it. What you got? What's gonna happen? What's the worst that can happen? It burn down.
no.
But
Um
listen, honey,
this has
as
been so awesome.
as the time comes to end, I say this. I tell people this. I'm gonna be stuck in a casket in the ground up under dirt.
Until then,
I'm not gonna be stuck in life.
right on, right on. So is that your final word or you got any more
That's
bars you
my
want to drop
final
before you
word.
go?
That's it. That's
It's
it. That's
been
all you gonna get from me
so
today.
real, Kanisha. I
Buy a
appreciate you
house. That's
coming.
all you get from me
I
today.
appreciate all of you all for tuning in, people being engaged in the comment section. Everybody is grateful. I don't know if you can see the comments. People are really appreciative of all the bars and the knowledge you've been dropping. Um, I'm grateful that we finally made it happen. We got to get together. It's been too long. It's time to go do some dinner. Oh my gosh, listen. I just discovered that I can eat crab legs. I had crab leg Sunday.
You're not allergic to seafood,
Yeah, I can't have shrimp and scallops, girl. I studied my list. I
but
got
that's
a
okay.
three
We'll work
page
up to it.
list. I got a 3 page list, baby. I smashed them crab legs. Oh my gosh. So yes, we can go places. We can go places. So for those of you who don't know, I have severe, severe, severe food allergies, but crab isn't one. So let's go.
Let's go. I love it. I love it.
Love it. But I am so grateful. Thank you again for joining me on the Blowing
Mm.
Bubbles podcast. I want to remind everybody out there, stay
Stay
popping.